watching GRTV, my favorite. Wahoo!
You've announced EA Sports Active 2.
Yes.
And in association with David Beckham. So is he doing the coding or the animation scripting?
He's actually doing all of the texturing, the lighting, and the shading in between, trying to get ready to play with the LA Galaxy. Now, David obviously is going to be a brand ambassador for us. We're delighted to have him as part of the team, and I think what he's going through with his own injury and getting back to fitness and his tenacity, even as the England manager thinks he's probably not going to be playing for England in the long term again. David clearly disagrees with that and is ready to prove the manager wrong. So we're big fans of what he's done in his career. Even though he played for Manchester United, we're right there with him, and I think he's a great fit for what we need to do, and a tremendous pan-European celebrity as well.
And you're clearly very excited about the new technologies on offer this time around.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we had a very strong start last year with the Wii alone, but when you think about where we've come now with the utilization of accelerometers to track movement, and then of course I think the big deal is heart rate monitors. For me as a guy, a former PE teacher and still a pretty avid runner that uses a heart rate monitor as a way of just tracking, how my body's doing, I think it's a big deal that we can capture that biometric data, and it's a bigger deal you can see it in real time flash up on the TV screen as we showed with our demo yesterday. So we like to continue to move the needle forward as regards technology, and hopefully the consumer's going to come along with us.
And when it comes to mobile platforms like the iPhone, are you speaking much about the iPhone version of EA Sports Active 2?
Not yet. I think we're still working on our ability to be able to bring that to life. I'm not an iPhone guy, and I was stunned to find out how many people actually ran with their iPhones, which was news to me, but seems a little big for me, but millions of people do and work out with their iPhones. Of course, it's got a tremendous amount of applications you can apply to it. So fitness being something that we can do there. We're a big player on iPhone, and more recently the iPad as well. I don't see people running with their iPad yet. So somebody will figure that out.
It'll be a very expensive accident when you fall over.
Fall over, yeah.
And you also showed a lot of FIFA 11. One of the more interesting announcements is that you can play through an entire season as a goalkeeper this time around. Do you think that's is that high up on the list of demands?
Well, somebody's got to play in goal, and I played for a long time, and I was always the guy. I played right fullback, but if the goalie got hurt, I can remember a dozen occasions me going in goal and actually relishing that. I was never one to be a full-time goalkeeper, but we all know people who played in goal all their lives, and 1 in 11 do, and thoroughly enjoy it. I don't think FIFA is going to be any different. I think that people want to go in goal. Obviously 11 versus 11 is a big deal. Somebody's got to go in goal. Somebody's got to play left fullback. I mean, somewhere along the line, we all do that as part of team. And I'm going to be interested over here on the show floor. We've got it all set up in, I think, 4-4-2 formation, and we'll go see how many goalies we got. That'll be a good test of the sampling over there right here today in Cologne.
What other new features about FIFA 11 are you personally excited about?
Well, I like Personality Plus. I mean, one of the things that the team has spent a lot of time on in the last 6 months, quite frankly, is polish. And getting to the point where we can do now, which is identifying certain players that have features. Look, Peter Crouch should not look like Lionel Messi when he's playing, and they don't. And those are the two most radical differences. But having the ability to identify your favorite player simply, as we can on TV, simply by looking at the way they run with the ball or their body shape or their little idiosyncrasies as they're actually in possession of the ball. Fernando Torres is different than a Wayne Rooney. Berbatov is different than say, from Liverpool's perspective, David Ungog. I mean, you just see differences in players. You should be able to recognize a player, as I always say, with his head cut off, just from the way he runs with the ball, the way he controls the ball, the way he actually even works off the ball. And we see that with all of our favorite players. It should be no different in the virtual game of football, and I think we've done that this year.
Speaking practically, does Personality Plus factor into the animation of characters?
Oh, absolutely. The way that a Messi, who we talked about, dribbles with the ball, if you've watched him, it's those little sharp touches that is very different than most players. I mean, it's distinctive. We can all see it's as if the ball is tied to his feet. Reminds me, you're not old enough to remember George Best, but the ability for a George Best, I'm sure you've seen footage, that a character that's slighter built, as is Messi, but somehow managed to maintain his balance, maybe a little closer to the ground, but those little short touches, the control element of it, you should be able to, and we've been focused on doing that, you should be able to pick those players out and building different animations. That's why we call it personality. Each player has their own personality. And he looks very different than Rooney. And you know, Sol Campbell shouldn't play like Lionel Messi. It's as simple as that. Both very good players, but both very different players, both physically and also the demands of the position as well.
And finally, have you had a chance to meet David Beckham yourself?
I have not, but you know, interestingly, I will be down in Los Angeles next week. We're doing a lot of work with David right now, and I'm scheduled to actually spend some time with him, which I'm looking forward to, and talking about his future fitness goals and how we're working together next Wednesday.
Brilliant. Thank you for your time.